Hey guys, here is a new thing that I'm doing here. This is an in-depth look at the fate of Glenn here. Now, I'm going to be taking a look here. First off, I want to mention that if they just climbed up this fence over here, yeah, they could have climbed into the trees and they would have been fine. Also, there's a fire escape like right here. So, fence or fire escape, but they went straight for the garbage can over here. Yeah. Not a good idea, good idea, good idea. They went for this one. Anyway, let's move forward and let's take another look at what they're doing here. Now, as we can see, they are trapped right here because they chose this position. Let me turn the volume off. This is where really the crap has hit the fan. And there's Greg Nicotero, I'd like to point out. I always like to point out when he's there. Anyway, now, right around here, Nicholas starts getting a little woozy. And I believe this is where he decides he's probably going to pass out. And then he decides to kill himself right here. This is where stuff gets really serious. Okay, now Nicholas says, "Thank you," at some point here. Right there, I guess, yeah. Boom. And then, now, let's stop right here. This is where it all starts, so keep a close eye here. First, the way they fall. They are falling this way, sort of head first in that direction, and it doesn't seem like they're falling to the side or anything. It seems like they're falling backwards. So let's take a look here. His head smacks there, and clearly Nicholas is not on top of him, which is odd. But then we see right next to him here is the garbage can. So they fell in a different direction from what it looks like. I don't really understand how that worked out. But I'd also like to point out that right here, let me do something here. Okay, here's an example. You see how this is what they're tearing into. That looks like it's his chest. But I don't think it is. This looks like a trick of an angle here. So here's Glenn. He's lying down and we can see him, right? But then here's the body of the other guy. What we would be seeing if this guy is like in this position is this guy's body right lined up with Glenn's chest. And what we'd think we'd be seeing is them tearing into Glenn's chest here. But that is not what's happening because look how high up Glenn's chest would be there. You see that? Doesn't that look a little puffy, especially since Glenn's chest is very shallow? Yeah, it wouldn't look that raised. So, what I'm seeing here is that is Nicholas getting torn into. Right there, yeah. But then let's rewind this a little. Okay. Of course, he's not actually on Glenn's chest. He is further down on his stomach. But what we see them tearing into is him further down there. Yeah. So, totally a trick angle there. Okay, now they're tearing into the guy. And I'd like to point out that Glenn's expressions here, Steven Yeun is a pretty good actor. So I don't think he would do this bad in his own death scene. What I'm seeing here is some sort of a disgusted anguish here, some sort of sadness, not pain. That is not a pained look. I mean, remember the way Noah looked when he was getting torn into? He looked like he was about to blow up in horrible agony. It was perfect for that. But this does not have an immediate look of pain. It looks more like, what is going on? Jeez. See that? That does not look like pain to me. And he's not doing any sort of struggling, which gives me the idea that he's not getting torn up here. This is the guy on top of him. Then we see guts coming out right here. If they were tearing guts out there, that would be Glenn's chest, keep in mind. There are no guts up here. They'd have to rip through rib cage and all. I don't see that happening. What we are seeing, though, is Nicholas here, right on top of him. And what we're seeing is Nicholas's stomach here, Or let's say, because of the way they fell, it's probably a little more like this. And Nicholas's stomach is getting torn out, and it looks like it's where Glenn's chest is, but it's not. Again, this is a trick of the angle. Now, this doesn't mean that Glenn is definitely not dead, but this means that we're not seeing Glenn get torn up here. I think Glenn might get bitten, but probably not. Another problem I have here is I think this is more of a problem with the way the directing was, because what we're seeing here is the guy falls into Glenn's arms, Glenn falls this way. That would mean, here, let me show you. Here is the crime scene, let's say. Let me bring this up. This is a small little recreation here of what happened. Let me get my camera in the right position. A little bit better. Okay, so Glenn is up here. Stupid zombies. Walkers. Okay. So we have Glenn up here. And he shot himself. But then he falls this way and Glenn decides to grab him. That sends them both falling this way. But if they fell this way, then Glenn would be like down here. And let's get a close-up look of that. Yeah, that would send them that far away from the garbage can here. So the garbage can would be here, they would be here, but instead their heads were like his head was like right there. So obviously there is a bit of a directing problem here. Yeah, but I'm not gonna horribly criticize that because it's not easy to get everything right. I suppose that maybe they fell and, I don't know, he hit there and that caused him to like move closer, and I don't know, perhaps he was scooting. Anyway, now here's another thing. People keep saying that maybe Glenn just goes under the garbage can. The problem is I'm not sure if there's enough room. Let's see. He fell and somehow ended up in this position. The zombies were tearing up Nicholas on top of him. I don't know if there would be enough room for Glenn here to move under the garbage can. Now, I don't have it accurately sized, but there was probably about maybe 6 or 7 inches of room from the garbage can and the ground. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's accurate to what I'm saying, but it doesn't seem like that is what's going to happen. But maybe it is. You never know. I saw one garbage can, a whole guy was able to fit underneath, so it is possible. What I'm thinking more of what might happen is someone is going to come and save Glenn. Perhaps it's that guy named Jesus from the comics who we know now is going to be in the show. Okay, moving onward, let's take another look here. Let me lower the camera. Okie doke. Okay, now, yeah, the way they fell is awkward. But then there's a little bit more to this. Glenn's shocked face here, the tearing up. Yeah, if Glenn was getting torn up, I'd think there would be somewhat of fighting going on or something. So he has a man on top of him, which is restricting his arms from moving. Now, at one point here, though, we notice he starts sort of scooting. Now, let's see. Right here, he's sort of like moving his body away. It's not like he's fighting or anything, but then right here, you can see Glenn's face is right here. Let me see if I can get a close-up. Rewind a little. Sorry, you're gonna have to see some extra stuff. I can only rewind so well. Okay, yeah, that's Glenn's face. And that's where all the zombies are eating, but it looked like they were digging into Glenn's chest, right? That's because they weren't. They're digging into Nicholas's body here. So Nicholas is down there, and Glenn's face we see is right next to the garbage can. And it seems to me that Glenn is definitely moving away. Glenn's head is here now. It's moved maybe a slight amount. And upon closer look, I see him sort of moving this way. So there is movement going on. So I think he is escaping this. The question is, perhaps he'll use his knife to escape. Maybe like kill some zombies around him. He could use guts to cover the scent. I don't know, he's gonna have to, whatever he does, it's gonna have to be very well thought of. But, I mean, they show us this for a while, so we get to see everything. And notice where his face was, you can't even see him anymore, because he's moved away from that position. He is definitely on the move. Anyway, I think that's everything. And if that's not enough for you guys, then I may be able to look deeper into it. Also, let's see if we can get a closer look at what the garbage can itself looks like. Okie doke. Right here, maybe. A little further back. So, one of the main questions here is, how much room is there under the garbage can? This looks like one of those regular ones, so I don't know, probably there is enough room, probably for convenience sake though. I don't actually think that there would realistically be that much room. Here we go. Right about here maybe. Okay, now we see them. Okay, perfect. Back a few seconds. Okay, now, first off, he's trying a door here, and they have guns that work still. He should have shot the doorknob off and gone through there, but he doesn't. Okay, now that's a dead end. And right here. We can see that there is some room there. It's really hard to see, though. On this side, it's totally covered up with garbage. I have seen some pictures that people have been able to catch, and it looks like there might be enough room. So I don't know if I can actually honestly tell you guys, yes, definitely there's enough room for a grown man under there. But there is enough room for maybe a couple little parts of his body, so if he wants to like half hide under there, maybe that would work. I don't know. Anyway, this is pretty much all I can tell you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think he's dead? Do you think he's going to survive to see next season? Or do you think he's going to have like 1 or 2 episodes after this? I know that the actor is in more episodes, but the question is he in those episodes as a live person or as a flashback person? Bye, Greg Nicotero. See you guys in the next episode. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next episode. Or review.